government's policies. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, in the initial document that was submitted as part of the remand of the 14 accused, this was clearly mentioned by the NIA. But, what is interesting is the fact that we are getting glimpses of what is the actual investigation that NIA has reached. One important take back from this entire investigation is that NIA has been able to collect some incriminating data. And this incriminating data includes some of the dubious financial transactions that has happened, and they are behind it. That is number one. Number two, they're able to connect that the PFI has been, as you rightly pointed out, PFI has been trying to create enmity between communities by targeting specific members of another community, and that thereby creating terror in the hearts of the people. This has also been mentioned in the document. And apart from that, what it essentially says is that there is a cohort of activities that has happened under the PFI. There are some of the secret activities also that has come out as part of PFI activities, part of the Popular Front of India's activities. And all this needs a detailed investigation, in fact, in-depth investigation. And the NIA has also mentioned the social media accounts of the PFI has also been under the scanner. Now, one more thing, Nupur, very, very important thing, what they have stated, and one of the points I clearly remember while going through this, what it says is that one of the accused who has been caught among the 14 is also linked to one of the registered ISIS case in Kerala, the Kanakamala case, and there has been some connection with that accused in the ISIS case. So this is an inside information that we have also got. So essentially saying NIA is deepening its investigation over this matter after the ban on the PFI, which essentially will find out more details. It will definitely, as the investigation progresses, we are sure we will be getting more information on how crucial this arrest has been and how crucial it will be to finally, come to substantiate the reason for the banning of the Popular Front of India. Nupur.
All right. Of course, the special court has extended the remand of the 14 arrested leaders for about 90 days now. Ashwin bringing us all those details. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, in a shocking case that's now coming to fore, a local TDP leader allegedly murdered by the YSRCP local leader and his aides in Palmadu in Andhra Pradesh. The local TDP leader Ibrahim was brutally murdered in Narsalaropet, Palnadu district, where Ibrahim was travelling with another TDP leader on a two-wheeler. Let's go across, I think, to Aneri. She has more details in terms of what really happened. We are given to understand that this is a murder of a local TDP leader by a YSRCP local leader. Aneri, give us more details of what happened, please.
Well, Nupur, we have been seeing this shocking incident which has come to light from Andhra Pradesh, where now the TDP leader who was injured has alleged that this murder was being done by the YSRCP leaders and his followers. So now we also have been seeing that when Ibrahim was traveling on a two-wheeler with Rahmat, he was brutally attacked by the YSRCP followers and his aides, and now we see that the police officials reached the spot and also shifted the body to the local hospital for postmortem and further investigation. But also in the meantime, Rahmat, who was injured in this attack, was also shifted to the hospital by the locals there, and he was undergoing treatment. While he was also Rahmat, who is injured, has claimed that this attack was being done by the YSRCP leader and his aides and his followers who were trying to follow them. And also at the same time, now we have been seeing that police officials have registered a case under relevant sections, and also they say that further investigation will be taken up into this matter. But a big claim coming in from the TDP leader who was injured into this incident, where we see that he has alleged that it was the YSRCP leader who has attacked them and who murdered Ibrahim in where we see that there was a lot of it was a crowded area rather, Nupur, where we see that immediately after this attack took place, many people came there, and also at the same time now we have been seeing that Rahmat, who is another person who is also a TDP leader, leader claims that it was the YSRCP leaders and his followers had attacked them, and now we have to wait and watch what further investigation will be taken up, because police officials say that they have booked a case, they have registered a case under relevant sections, and also further investigation is being taken up into this matter.
Now also, Aneri, is this perhaps largely being viewed as a political rivalry case by the police? All right, I think we seem to have lost Aneri. Well, yeah, her video seems to have frozen over there, but we'll get her back and get more details in terms of what happened. But what we are given to understand is that this is political rivalry, perhaps gone horribly wrong, where a murder has been reported of a local YSRCP leader. And the Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia has written to Rahul Gandhi on breach of COVID norms during the Bharat Jodo Yatra. We are given to understand right now that the Union Health Minister has written to Rahul Gandhi. We are trying to get more details in terms of what has been written. But here's what we know so far. Of course, the Union Health Ministry has sounded an alert over the increase in COVID-19 cases across the world. COVID-19 cases have increased in several countries, including the United States of America. We're also getting reports of increase in COVID-19 cases in Japan, as well as, of course, China, which is seeing the biggest jump. Now, the Health Ministry, of course, has also sounded alert back home. It has asked people to make sure that they do follow appropriate behavior. And apart from that, of course, genome sequencing is being increased. Let's go across to Harsha on the phone line. She joins us right now. Harsha, give us more details in terms of the letter that's been written by Rahul Gandhi, I beg your pardon, the Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia to Rahul Gandhi.
Exactly, Nupur. Now we have got to know that Mansukh Mandavia received a letter from a parliament member, P.P. Chaudhary, Nihal Sir and Devji Patel, where it stated that there were rising cases of COVID in Rajasthan. After that, Health Minister himself took the note of this entire situation and he wrote a letter to Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot and Rahul Gandhi, because right now Yatra is going from Rajasthan to Haryana and the rising cases have been various coming from Rajasthan itself. So he has clearly stated that the people who are vaccinated, only those should be participating in the Bharat Jodo Yatra, and the proper mask and sanitizer and the social distancing should be particularly followed in Bharat Jodo Yatra. So this is a letter what Health Minister has written to Rahul Gandhi and Ashok Gehlot, because we have clearly seen in the Bharat Jodo Yatra the huge crowd is being seen and the no mask.
The huge crowd is being seen and the no mask, no sanitizer, no social distancing is being followed. Basically, no COVID protocol and guideline is being followed in the Bharat Jodo Yatra from wherever it's going. And right now we have seen there are tremendously rising cases of COVID in Rajasthan, and because of that we are seeing today itself Health Minister is doing a review meeting with the state health secretaries and the state health minister to take a note of what are the cases in all these states regarding the COVID. And this letter to Rahul Gandhi and Ashok Gehlot is in view of the rising cases, only that in Bharat Jodo Yatra no COVID guidelines is being followed, and they have to particularly follow all the COVID guidelines, which clearly states that no person who is not vaccinated should be participating in the Yatra, which is Bharat Jodo Yatra, which is going on in all these states, crossing from Rajasthan and reaching to Haryana and Delhi. Back to you, Nupur.
Right. So, Harsha, essentially what you are saying is that this letter actually asks people who are participating in the Yatra to follow all COVID-19 guidelines. But there are several states, Harsha, which don't really, which essentially are not at least following the mask mandate right now.
Exactly, Nupur. Now we have seen the Bharat Jodo Yatra started from Karnataka, from the down south, and wherever the Yatra has proceeded, be it Karnataka, be it Telangana, be it Madhya Pradesh, be it Rajasthan, nowhere mask was fully followed. Even the places where Rahul Gandhi's Jan Sabha were also being done, there was no mask, there was no sanitizer, there was no proper social distancing. Huge crowd could clearly be seen in the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Now when the cases in China and Japan are gearing up, and now genome sequencing has also been asked to enhance. Now, several cases in the states, different states have come in notice that there are cases which are genuinely rising week and week. There are cases in Karnataka, Kerala, Telangana and Rajasthan. These are the states where the several number of COVID cases have seen the peak in the span of 15 to 20 days. And this is a serious problem, the serious issue, because right now the surge is going on in China and the new variant could be seen in India as well. So to take a precautionary measure, Health Minister has clearly
Harsha, do hold your thoughts for a minute.
That this won't be tolerated.
Right. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Harsha. But Shehzad Poonawalla from the BJP on the phone line with us. Mr. Poonawalla, good morning. Mr. Poonawalla, we're given to understand that the Health Minister, of course, has issued an advisory to Rahul Gandhi and to the Congress Party, as well as the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, asking them to follow COVID appropriate norms in the Bharat Jodo Yatra. It does appear from the number of people who are in these in the Yatra, in some of these pictures at least, that COVID norms are not being followed.
You see, the Bharat Jodo Yatra can't become a COVID Jodo Yatra. The manner in which Rahul Gandhi and his ilk, the Congress Party, has time and again flouted COVID norms, the manner in which they had even spread hesitancy about the vaccines earlier. There's no masking, there's no sanitizers being used, there's no checking whether the people who have gathered are vaccinated or fully vaccinated. So, it should not become a super spreader event. And we know that Rahul Gandhi is always very perturbed that now you can see the COVID surge taking place in China. So, there are some people who would always want that there would be a similar surge in India. There would always be some situation that takes place in India so that China, which is now facing a lot of flack, doesn't. And therefore, Rahul Gandhi should be a responsible citizen and he should ensure that COVID protocols are followed. The wave and the pandemic is not behind us yet. So it could be in the best interest of the people coming for this yatra and for Rahul Gandhi to follow the COVID norms. And I think that has been reminded to him, and as a responsible MP, he must follow them.
Right. Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP over there saying that the Congress and Rahul Gandhi must follow COVID appropriate behavior. Do remember that there has been a surge in cases that's been reported in several countries. Of course, Mr. Poonawalla, thank you for joining us. We seem to have lost that audio connection with him. But as we are pointing out, of course, there has been a surge in numbers in COVID cases that are being reported across several countries. To name a few, of course, China has seen an unprecedented surge in cases, and that sent alarm bells ringing across the world. Let me go across to Harsha, who has more details now. Harsha, even as we see this alarming surge in numbers that are coming in China, and reports also coming in from the US as well as Korea that the cases are rising now. Give us more details in terms of how the Union Health Ministry is hoping to be able to tackle this. Of course, they will perhaps now begin to at least sounding the alarm over large gatherings like this one, that we are seeing of the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
लोगों को सारे प्रोटोकॉल मानते हुए गए थे। मंडविया के मैं पूछना चाहता है कि राहुल गांधी की पदयात्रा शायद आपको अच्छा नहीं लगते होंगे, लेकिन सारे हिंदुस्तान के लोग इसमें दिलचस्पी दिखा रहे हैं, शामिल हो रहे हैं, और इसके चलते बीजेपी की जो गोदी मीडिया की चलते जो प्रचार चलते थे उसमें भी अभी छेद आने लगी, क्योंकि सोशल मीडिया में छाए हुए हैं राहुल गांधी जी की भारत जोड़ो यात्रा। नफरत छोड़ो, भारत जोड़ो, ये लोगों में काफी इसका असर हुए हैं, ये जानता है मोदी सरकार। इसलिए मंडविया को तैनात किया गया कि कुछ बहाना बना के ये आम लोगों की निगाह भटकाया जाए।
Well, that, of course, was Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of the Congress Party targeting the government over there, saying that this is just fear of the government and the kind of response that the Bharat Jodo Yatra has got that is prompting the Health Minister to write to Rahul Gandhi. But do remember that there is quite an alarm that's been caused by the numbers that have now risen in terms of cases that are being reported across the world. China, of course, particularly leading this with the reports that are now coming out of the unprecedented surge we are seeing. There is also calls being made to make sure that appropriate measures are taken back home. Harsha, coming back to you now. All right, I think we've got Dr. Guha from the Congress Party also joining us on the phone line. Dr. Guha, good morning. How do you see the Union Health Minister's letter to Rahul Gandhi, where he's asked him to follow COVID-appropriate behavior and for people to use masks and sanitizers? Now, Dr. Guha, there is, of course, a great deal of alarm being caused by the rise in COVID-19 cases that are being reported from various countries across the world.
Morning, Snowput, to you and all the viewers. I'm aware of this letter being sent by the Union Home Minister. One, we welcome that letter, fine. Whatever COVID norms have to be followed will be followed if and when required. But the other thing here is the politics behind this letter. It is quite laughable, for a Union Minister to particularly point at only this incident. Across the state in Karnataka, BJP is holding Janasankirtan rallies day in and out. Why isn't the same letter being sent to them? Their double standards are exposed here. Somewhere, they're fearful. They've got, because Rahul Gandhi has got hold of the nerves of the people in India. He has been able to draw massive crowds. There's a lot of love and affection being shown towards him and towards the Congress party. That has probably incited this fear in them. If at all this was, there was no politics in this letter. As far as COVID is concerned, if there are cases increasing, it's increasing. There is no dispute on that. But if the concern was really for COVID, the same letter should have been sent to Karnataka as well, where BJP is holding rallies day in and out. How different is this from that?
Right. Dr. Shankara Guha, thank you for joining us. So the Congress party over there saying that, yes, we will follow those norms, but also pointing to the fact that there are other political parties which continue to hold meetings and rallies across, and also saying that they should also be sent letters like this one. I'm going to go back to Harsha on that one now. Harsha, even as, of course, there is quite a bit of alarm that's been caused due to the sudden spike in cases, also give us an overall view of how the government and the health ministry in particular is hoping to respond to this new threat.
See, now they are tracking, and the tracking testing, the 5 T's of COVID has been increased, and the state health secretaries and the state health ministers have been asked to monitor all the 5 T's in their particular state. The testing and tracking should be increased, and therefore a review meeting by health minister himself is being done today at 11:30 a.m. at the Nirman Bhavan Health Ministry himself, where all the health secretaries will connect with him, and all the health ministers will also connect via video conferencing, and a proper guideline to follow will be given that the genome sequencing could be done, because what the epidemiologists and what the health experts are stating, that this could be new variant which is being seen in China, South Korea and US, and therefore the testing and tracking should be increased. The genome sequencing should be enhanced to know whether it is some new variant that has entered the country, because right now the surge is being seen in particular states. If we talk about Karnataka, Kerala, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, these are the states where the surge in the COVID cases has been seen in the span of 1 and 2 months. Therefore, this is an alarming situation. This is a public health emergency, and therefore Union Health Minister returned to Rahul Gandhi and Ashok Gehlot, because we have seen that people have joined Bharat Jodo Yatra from down south, and they are now entering north, and no proper COVID protocol, COVID guidelines is being followed, and this is very risky and alarming situation, because if there are a number of rising cases in Karnataka, that's very sure that those people will come in Bharat Jodo Yatra, and it is infectious disease. And right now it is entering Rajasthan. Rajasthan COVID cases have risen in the span of 15 weeks. There are more than 2,500 cases right now in Rajasthan in the span of 15 days. This is alarming situation. This public health emergency. Therefore, Union Health Ministers clearly stated that if public health emergency, if the COVID protocol could not be followed in Bharat Jodo Yatra, then Bharat Jodo Yatra should be stopped, it should be suspended, it should be postponed right away. Because right now what is being done by Congress leaders, they are politicizing this entire issue. Because we have clearly seen when the COVID cases rise in the country, Congress leader and the opposition hits the ministry that what preparation they have done regarding COVID in the country. So right now taking the cognizance of the entire matter and taking the protocol and guidelines, following it right now is much better than facing the alarming situation later on. So therefore this letter means a lot, and right now today what the preparedness and review meeting is happening, we'll get more to know what states have been given to understand by the health ministry. Back to you, Nupur.
Yes, Harsha, thank you very much for that, Harsha. Of course, Harsha is continuing also to track all the other guidelines that will perhaps be coming out from the Health Ministry on this. You are watching Republic TV. We step into a very short break.
In China has raised an alarm in India as well. The centre has even written to the states now over the COVID situation and the need to increase surveillance in all states. Not just this, the Union Health Minister is all set to chair a meet at 11:30 a.m. today. We'll get you all that and more on the other side of this very short break.
Ladies and gentlemen, you expected the puzzle, but for a law person, this is not a game. Explain it to us, detective.
Holy!
Everyone is in danger.
All right, when's the murder mystery start?
उठो, जागो, दौड़ो तुम। डायबिटीज को रोको तुम।
Get Beto's Diabetes Care Program with a free glucometer and expert advice. Give a missed call on 740 1100.
Pooja, you left the job and still so cool?
Bro, new challenges bring new opportunities.
Oh, really?
Seriously, Rahul, my entire house, now it's an online retail store. Look.
Wow. But money?
Few years back, I'd invested my Diwali bonus.
And now you have LIC's ULIP plan Nivesh Plus. Invest once, get the benefit of both life insurance and maximize returns based on market trends.
One sec, Rahul.
Madam, you are double cool. India welcomes those who further India's pride across the globe. Indian diaspora, partners of New India's growth journey in Amrit Kaal. Come and be a part of the 17th Pravasi Bharati Divas from 8th to 10th January 2023 at Indore, Madhya Pradesh, India. For registration, log on to pbdindia.gov.in.
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता, उछलता है, दौड़ता, कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
Hey boss.
Rahul, how come you're here?
Boss, शाहरुख ने बताया. Wait up. Booking a car service.
Booking a service from here.
क्यों? तुझे शाहरुख ने नहीं बताया?
इसने पूछा ही नहीं. There's so much more जो शाहरुख ने नहीं बताया. It's all on the industry first My Hyundai app. Open a world of possibility with My Hyundai app. One app, many worlds.
Why did life test me? Why did it try to crush me, shake me, break me? Why me? Because it knew if I could take this test, I could take anything and say, that was easy.
Welcome back. You are watching Republic TV, and the latest that we are getting right now is that the Congress President and the Leader of the Opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, has staged a protest near the Gandhi statue outside Parliament. Now, the Congress wants a debate on China to be held in both houses of Parliament. And do remember that the Congress party has been pushing for a debate on what happened in Tawang for a while now. The government, of course, says that they have released a statement in both houses of Parliament, and since this is a matter of national security and there are a lot of sensitivities involved in this, they cannot debate it in Parliament. So politics, of course, continuing over the clash in Tawang that took place between the Chinese PLA soldiers and Indian Army Jawans in a height above Tawang. Let's go across, I think, to Piyush.
What we can also show you is how Sonia Gandhi has also joined this protest, and parliament and they are demanding answers from the government on the issue of parliament. You can see how the likes of Manish Tiwari, Rajiv Shukla, P. Chidambaram, Sonia Gandhi all have now joined this protest march. Mr. Tiwari, what is this protest all about? If you can tell us, what is this protest all about?
प्रधानमंत्री जवाब दो, सदन में आकर जवाब दो, चाइना पर जवाब दो।
All right, so that's the protest that is taking place outside Parliament. It's taking place near the Gandhi statue over there. Of course, we had earlier seen a call that was given out by the Congress party for all other opposition parties also to join in this protest to ask the government to have a debate on the situation on the border with China. However, the government, of course, so far has said that this is an issue of national security and they've already released a statement and they can't discuss this further because there are several sensitivities that are involved. But we are told that this protest was also joined by Sonia Gandhi a short while ago. The protests are still continuing. I'm going to try and go across to Piyush Mishra. Piyush, the opposition, of course, has been constantly staging walkouts and wanting the government to debate on this issue and to hold a discussion. But the government, on its part, has maintained that they've already issued a statement on this in both houses of Parliament, and they don't see the need for a debate. Also, the opposition, of course, not letting any other work progress.
Well, certainly this is not the first time that opposition political parties are creating disruption inside the House. Earlier also we have seen how opposition has been protesting on the very day when the discussion on China issue was to take place. On that particular day, Rajnath Singh, Defence Minister, had made a thorough statement on the clash which took place in Tawang between India and Chinese forces. But opposition political parties continue to politicize the entire issue. Once again, we are seeing as to how opposition is protesting in this time outside the Parliament in front of Gandhi statue, where they are demanding that government must break its silence and speak on the issue of China, and a detailed discussion should take place. When we asked from Manish Tiwari of Congress party as to why the Congress is continuously disrupting the House inside the Parliament, Manish Tiwari is stressing on one fact, that he does not want, the Congress party does not want a statement, but they want a debate on this entire issue on India-China clash which took place on the border, and that is why they are protesting in front of Gandhi statue. We'll have to wait and watch for how long this disruption will continue. But right now, as we are speaking, Congress party delegation led by delegation of opposition political parties led by Congress party is protesting in front of Gandhi statue. Sonia Gandhi has also joined this protest. Mallikarjun Kharge, who is Congress president, he is also taking part in that particular protest. And this protest is taking place at a time when the opposition has been creating ruckus inside the Parliament, demanding a thorough debate on the China issue.
Now, Piyush, of course, yesterday there was a meeting of the BJP's parliamentary party, which was headed by the Prime Minister. Give us more details in terms of how they're planning to be able to deal with this.
What's happening in China. Thank you so much.
Over there, but that just seemed to have not gone rather well. Piyush, back to you. Piyush, we were talking about the fact that the BJP did hold a parliamentary party meeting yesterday in which, of course, they were supposed to decide how do they deal with this. The fact of the matter, Piyush, is that there are very few days.
Demands that it has to be dealt with iron hands. And the minimum demand that we...
All right, we seem
The statement which was made by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh was enough as far as this entire issue is concerned. There is no need to have any kind of discussion, any kind of debate on this, because the government does not want any inside details or crucial details of this entire issue. The government has already said what actually happened and how our forces retaliated back. But what we are seeing is politics taking place. Not only the Congress party, but also we are seeing how Aam Aadmi Party, almost all opposition political parties coming out and questioning our defense forces, questioning the government over this entire issue. And today what we are now seeing is opposition delegation led by Congress party. It's the 12 opposition political parties delegation which is right now protesting in front of Gandhi statue, where they are demanding that a thorough debate should take place on China issue. And this is coming at a time when the government has made it very clear that no extra thing or any other statement needs to be made when a defense Minister Rajnath Singh has already clarified this stand of a country and what actually happened there, and there is no need to add anything further on that particular issue. But we are seeing how politics continues to take place. Rahul Gandhi, a couple of days back, he also addressed a press conference. You would remember, Nupur, the kind of derogatory words he used for armed forces. The words like pitai were used by Rahul Gandhi. On that particular word used by Rahul Gandhi, we also saw how S. Jaishankar had retaliated back and had given a strong response to Rahul Gandhi, saying that one should speak in one voice as far as the security forces are concerned, and we should not show to other countries as to how the people within the nation are divided over this very issue. That was the statement which was also given by Piyush Goyal, who is also leader of Rajya Sabha of BJP. He had made it very clear that there is no extra thing which needs to be added when the defense minister has already made a thorough statement on this entire issue. But we are seeing how politics continues to take place on this matter. We'll have to wait and watch for how long this will continue. What we are now learning is that Parliament might go sine die on 23rd of this very month, though Parliament was to take place on was to commence on 29th of December. But before that, what we are learning is that it could sine die because of the week-long holidays. And before that, Congress party wants to ensure that it raises this issue, and that is why today we are looking at this massive protest being carried out by the 12 opposition political parties, which is being led by Congress party. Today we are also seeing Sonia Gandhi taking part in this very protest.
All right, so the opposition wanting to make as much political capital as they can, Piyush, before, as you said, both houses of parliament are adjourned. But coming back to you, Piyush, in terms of the number of parties that are participating in this, is there seeming to at least be a consensus from all political parties, or rather all opposition parties, on this issue?
Well, there are few, barring Aam Aadmi Party. We have not seen any representative from Aam Aadmi Party in that particular protest. But yes, there are 12 opposition political parties like IUML, IAA, DMK, also Samajwadi Party, BSP, Congress, and also few political parties from down south. At least 12 opposition political parties have joined hands to protest against the government, and they are the one who have been demanding a thorough discussion on the China debate. As we are speaking, the protest is right now underway at the Gandhi statue, where they are holding placards like, when will the government break its silence on the China issue? Why detailed discussion is not taking place on this entire matter? They're also asking that why not detailed debate also took place on the floor of the House when Rajnath Singh made the statement on the China clash issue. In fact, they are also stressing upon the fact that Prime Minister should also be present, and in front of Prime Minister, detailed discussion should take place on this very issue. But the point here is that when the government has already made a thorough statement and has clarified what our forces did and how did we pushed back the China forces, why political parties continue to do politics, that's the big question. As we are speaking, Sonia Gandhi is also present there. The likes of Manish Tiwari, Rajiv Shukla, leaders from DMK, and also leaders from Samajwadi Party, they are present. And as we are speaking, the protest is still on there at Gandhi statue right in front of Parliament.
Absolutely. Do stay with us, Piyush. Of course, pictures on your screen are coming to you from outside Parliament. This is the Gandhi statue area where political parties led by the Congress are protesting against the government. They want the government to discuss what happened in Tawang with opposition parties. We are also continuously bringing you voices of various leaders. But let's quickly listen into a report that was filed by Piyush earlier.
12 opposition political parties led by Congress party are right now protesting right in front of Mahatma Gandhi statue in Parliament. Right behind me you can see the visuals of these political parties who are now getting out of this protest march. But we can also show you as to how Sonia Gandhi has also joined this protest. They are raising slogans inside the Parliament and they are demanding from the government on the issue of Parliament. You can see how the likes of Manish Tiwari, Rajiv Shukla, P. Chidambaram, Sonia Gandhi all have now joined this protest march. Mr. Tiwari, what is this protest all about? If you can tell us, what is this protest all about?
This is to demand a discussion in Parliament on China. That's what the protest is all about.
The government is saying that a detailed statement has already been made on the floor of your house.
I think there's a distinction between a statement and a debate. What we are demanding is a debate in the House.
So the opposition political parties are now demanding a discussion, they are demanding a debate. You can also see as to how they are holding multiple placards. Sonia Gandhi can also be seen in this protest which is right now underway here inside the Parliament.
Well, senior opposition leaders, of course, are joining this protest. Pictures on your screen are of all these opposition parties, which are about 12 in number, who have now joined this protest. Now, the only party that seems to be missing.
I mean, the silliness and the pettiness of the government is clearly shown from these kind of actions they are trying to take against the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which is obviously having an impact on the ground.
Talking about is any flights related to China, not to direct flight we have, but related to China via China flights to be monitored strictly in India?
See, I really do not know the ground reality in China. China is a tremendously opaque society. We really do not know what's happening there. Their information is not very open. They don't really communicate about what's really happening. But this is really up to our diplomatic corps to give a correct update to the government here about the situation in China and then to take appropriate steps. We definitely do not want to have another breakout of the pandemic in India, and we should do everything we can to prevent it. But I really do not know the ground reality of what's happening in China.
Thank you so much.
Karthi Chidambaram over there talking about, I think he began by talking about the letter that's been written by the Health Minister to Rahul Gandhi over the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Of course, the Congress party says that the government seems overly worried about the numbers it's attracting. But apart from that, of course, there is also the fact that there is a surge in COVID numbers. But just coming back to what you're seeing on your screens right now, this is a protest that's taking place outside of Parliament. Opposition parties joining in this protest. The Congress party, of course, leading it. Sonia Gandhi was also present, as was Mallikarjun Kharge. The opposition wants a debate. The government says a statement has been made. You are watching Republic TV. We slip into a very short break. On the other side, we bring you more news. We also get you the latest on the COVID situation. The Union Health Minister will be reviewing the COVID-19 situation as cases witness a surge in multiple countries. And in context of the Shraddha Walkar murder case, Devendra Fadnavis says Maharashtra is studying love jihad laws in other states.
Your favorite service provider, 10, which gets you the best of entertainment, is back with something very special.
अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो.
Your 3 favorite movie channels are bringing in super blockbuster films with features like wider picture and crystal clear sound straight to your home.
Wow. Oh, I love that expression.
To subscribe to your favorite channels, contact your local cable TV operator today. or call 10 toll-free number 1-800-419-2020 now.
Here, gravity and physics don't call the shots, and sound travels slower than you. This is a different kind of place. That's why we're looking for different kind of people, for whom excellence is not a job, but a way of being, be it in the sky or on the ground. We are looking for an invincible team of invincible people. People who are a cut above.
Join the Indian Air Force to be a cut above.
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया.
Hey Rahul, what's up?
Hey, kicked about our first date?
Of course.
Benefits up to rupees 30,000 only at the Citroën C3 Carnival. Book today.
टाइम पे खा लेना. और कल सुबह अपॉइंटमेंट है, भूलना मत.
अरे 2 दिन के लिए तो जा रहे हो.
हाँ, लेकिन ख्याल तो पूरी जिंदगी रखूंगा ना.
HDFC लाइफ एन्युटी प्लान्स के जॉइंट लाइफ फीचर के साथ रखिए अपनों का ख्याल हमेशा. HDFC लाइफ, सर उठा के जियो.
झाके रे झाके झरोके से झाके, देख के दंग है छोटे बड़े सारे. झाके रे झाके फ्यूचर को ये ताके, तरक्की को टुक टुक हर कोई ताके. झाके रे झाके.
Reimagineering brighter futures with smarter steels. ArcelorMittal, Nippon Steel India. Smarter steels, brighter futures.
Magnificent picture, magnificent sound, magnificent experience. Magnifique. High performance TVs by Aiwa Japan. Now in India.
लगभग 8% से ज़्यादा 8.6% ट्राइबल पॉपुलेशन है. उनकी 2011 की जनगणना की हिसाब करें तो ये लगभग 10.5 करोड़ आबादी होते हैं. ये थोड़ा अभी बढ़ के 13-14 करोड़ हुई होगी. 700 से ज़्यादा जनजाति समुदाय है देश में. ये कंटिन्यूस प्रोसेस है. कई लोगों को राज्य सरकार, RGI, उसके बाद पार्लियामेंट के एंडोर्समेंट में जोड़ा भी जाता है. अभी भी इसी सेशन में कुछ ऐसे ही विषय को जोड़ा गया और उनमें से 75 प्रिमिटिव ट्राइब्स है.
The COVID situation in China has raised an alarm in India as well. The centre has even written to the states now over the COVID situation and the need to increase surveillance in all states. Not just this, the Union Health Minister is all set to chair a meet at 11:30 a.m. today. We'll get you all that and more on the other side of this very short break.
Life will test you. It will turn your world upside down. Again. And again. And again. The only way to hit back is to stand up. Stand up every time. And say, I'm not done.
क्या हुआ रोहन, क्या सोच रहा है?
रिया, पहली सैलरी मिली है, तुम भी कुछ आइडिया दो. एक्सपेंसेस को कैसे प्लान किया जाए?
रोहन, एक्सपेंसेस के साथ साथ इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान करना भी जरूरी है.
देखो, सैलरी का कुछ हिस्सा घर के रेगुलर खर्चे के लिए और कुछ मैं अपने लिए भी तो सोच सकता हूँ ना. लेकिन इन्वेस्ट कहाँ करूँ?
सिंपल है, NPS में.
NPS में? रिया, अभी तो मैंने कमाना शुरू किया है. इतना आगे के लिए अभी से क्यों पैसे जोड़ूं?
वो देखो, एक एक करके ईंट जोड़ी जाती है, तब जाके एक घर तैयार होता है. वैसे ही अभी से पैसे जोड़कर हम भी अपना रिटायरमेंट सुखी बना सकते हैं.
बात में तो दम है.
एनपीएस कम लागत वाली फ्लेक्सिबल लॉन्ग टर्म योजना है जिससे आपकी बचत ग्रो होकर पेंशन का लाभ देती है।
अच्छा, फिर तो मैं अभी अपना एनपीएस अकाउंट ओपन करता हूँ।
जो कल की सोचते हैं वो आज से ही थोड़ा थोड़ा जोड़ते हैं।
पेंशन है तो टेंशन नहीं। एनपीएस में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है।
বাইরে সিকিউরিটি আর নিজের বাড়িতে এইসব।
दादा बचा लिया आपने।
बेफिक्र कोलकाता जाओ, इंटरव्यू अच्छा ही होगा।
हर बंद राह ओपन हो सकती है, लगता है सिर्फ दिल। एक्सिस बैंक, दिल से ओपन।
Volkswagen Tygoon, India's safest SUVW.
Volkswagen. Tonight, a murder will be committed. If anyone can name the killer, that person wins our game.
This is truly delightful.
Holy
There has been a murder. For one person, this is not a game. The killer wouldn't hesitate to kill again.
You must be really great at clues.
I'm very bad at dumb things.
Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
A quick look at what else is making news across the world. This morning, after an opinion poll on Twitter asking users if he should step down as the CEO, Elon Musk has tweeted that he will resign as the CEO as soon as he finds someone what he called foolish enough to take on the job. And after that, he stated that he would just run the software and servers teams. Reports suggest that the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is planning a visit to Washington on Wednesday and may meet the US President Joe Biden at the White House and visit the US Congress. Female students have been banned from private and public universities in the latest edict cracking down on women's rights and freedoms. Despite initially promising a more moderate rule respecting rights for women and minorities, the Taliban have widely implemented their strict interpretation of Islamic law. The US State Department has slammed the Taliban after the Afghan government banned women from private and public universities in Afghanistan. The Taliban have banned girls from middle school and high school, restricted women from most employment and ordered them to wear head-to-toe clothing in public. Women are also banned from parks and gyms.
Imposing accountability measures on the Taliban, and I suspect, just as we have coordinated with this messaging, many of our partners will be doing the same.
The Democratic-controlled House Ways and Means Committee has voted along party lines to publicly release a report on years of Donald Trump's tax returns, which the former president has long tried to shield. Now that lawmakers have voted to move forward with plans to release the returns, it's unclear how quickly that would happen.
This committee should always be voting and knowing exactly what we are releasing, certainly in text and to the public. In the second point, maybe more practical, and can you please advise us now on what, now that these documents will be made public, what members of Congress may say when this business meeting concludes?
Pharmaceutical companies in China are working at full capacity to increase medicine supply as more people are getting infected with the fast-spreading Omicron virus. Pharmaceutical companies in central China's Hunan province are operating 24 hours a day to increase the output. At the same time, in Beijing, companies are operating 24 hours non-stop delivery to ensure medicine could be delivered within 4 hours. Migrants have gathered at the Mexico-US border as the pandemic-era restrictions were due to expire. Tensions remained high at the border amid uncertainty over the future of restrictions, with the Biden administration asking the Supreme Court not to lift curbs before Christmas. A powerful earthquake that residents have described as violent rocked a rural stretch in Northern California coast, leaving 11 people injured and 70,000 without power as a rainstorm was about to roll in. A parade to celebrate the Argentine World Cup champions was abruptly cut short as millions of people poured into thoroughfares, highways and overpasses in a chaotic attempt to catch a glimpse of the national team that won one of the greatest World Cup finals of all time. And fans clashed with police in Buenos Aires after a day of celebrations for the national soccer team's return home with the World Cup trophy. Clashes started after police moved to arrest several fans who had broken into the obelisk monument. Fans hurled stones and glass bottles at police as they counter-attacked with rubber bullets and water cannons. You are watching Republic TV. On the other side, the Union Home Minister is to review the COVID-19 situation as cases witness a surge in multiple countries. And in the context of the Shraddha Walkar murder case, Fadnavis says Maharashtra is studying love jihad laws in other states.
Why did life test me? Why did it try to crush me, shake me, break me? Why me? Because it knew if I could take this test, I could take anything and say, that was easy.
Guys, just 1 second. Choosing a car for my mom.
What? Online car shopping? Wow, that's so cool, yeah.
शाहरुख ने बताया.
Wait up. Booking a car service.
From here.
क्यों? तुझे शाहरुख ने नहीं बताया?
इसने पूछा ही नहीं. There's so much more जो शाहरुख ने नहीं बताया. It's all on the industry first My Hyundai app. Open a world of possibility with My Hyundai app. One app, many worlds.
आज की पेशकश
अच्छी है, पर ये चाय रोज मिलेगी?
रिटायर होने वाला हूँ, रोज नहीं, लाइफ लॉन्ग मिलेगी, ये मेरी गारंटी है।
कुछ चीजों का साथ हमेशा होना चाहिए, जैसे HDFC Life Annuity Plans, जो दे लाइफ लॉन्ग मंथली गारंटीड इनकम। HDFC Life, सर उठा के जियो।
India welcomes those who further India's pride across the globe. Indian diaspora, partners of New India's growth journey in Amrit Kaal. Come and be a part of the 17th Pravasi Bharati Divas from 8th to 10th January 2023 at Indore, Madhya Pradesh, India. For registration, log on to pbdindia.gov.in.
अगर मिठाई जंक फूड से है यारी, तो डायबिटीज की कर लो तैयारी।
Get Beto's Diabetes Care Program with a free glucometer and expert advice. Give a missed call on 740 1100.
Outside a liquor factory in Firozpur demanding to shut down the liquor factory. Punjab police lathi charging on these farmers who've gathered in large numbers.
Karnataka's Gadag district, where a teacher allegedly thrashes a 10-year-old schoolboy to death.
In Telangana, Sirinagar, students of a government junior school staged protest demanding the education minister and the government to provide toilet facility inside the college. There's top headlines right now. Chinese troops push back. Government sends record trade, but opposition politics continues. In fact, Mandavia writes to Rahul Gandhi and Gehlot says follow COVID norms or stop all the yatras. Brazen violation of COVID norms and Rahul's Yatra. BJP now calls it COVID Joro Yatra. Union Health Minister to review COVID-19 situation as cases witness surge in multiple countries. NIA reports make sensational disclosure, says PFI members linked to ISIS and the Al-Qaeda. Another regressive move by the Taliban bans women from universities and higher education. Viewers, a very, very good morning. You're watching Republic TV, India's #1 news channel. I'm Shivangi Shukla. We're getting you all the top updates this Wednesday. Let's start off what's happening right now. The Congress president and leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, and other opposition parties staged a protest near the Gandhi statue outside the parliament, demanding a discussion of Tawang face-off. This is big news we're getting for you right now, where the Congress, the opposition, is protesting outside the parliament as we speak right now. And they're demanding, remember, they're demanding a discussion on Tawang. In fact, a lot of times the houses have been adjourned over discussion on Tawang. But right now we're seeing a massive showdown there by the opposition, where they are going ahead and they are making this entire issue political. As our soldiers, remember, had fought off the Chinese off the border, they had pushed them back, but the opposition's politics continues. We're getting this report by our colleague. Let's play that out.
12 opposition political parties led by Congress party are right now protesting right in front of Mahatma Gandhi statue in Parliament. Right behind me you can see the visuals of these political parties who are now getting out of this protest march. But we can also show you as to how Sonia Gandhi has also joined this protest. They are raising slogans inside the Parliament and they are demanding from the government on the issue of Parliament. You can see how the likes of Manish Tiwari, Rajiv Shukla, P. Chidambaram, Sonia Gandhi all have now joined this protest march. Mr. Tiwari, what is this protest all about? If you can tell us, what is this protest all about?
Yes, to demand a discussion in Parliament on China. That's what the protest is all about.
The government is saying that a detailed statement has already been made on the floor of your house.
I think there's a distinction between a statement and a debate. What we are demanding is a debate in the House.
So the opposition political parties are now demanding a discussion. They are demanding a debate. You can also see as to how they are holding multiple placards. Sonia Gandhi can also be seen. The protest which is right now underway here inside the Parliament.
सबसे पहले सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा तो इंडिया चाइना का इशू है। इतने सारे बॉर्डर डिस्प्यूट्स चल रहे हैं और हमारी सरकार जो है किसी तरीके की जवाबदेही जो होनी चाहिए वो तय नहीं हो पा रही है। हम बार बार कह रहे हैं इस पर चर्चा होनी चाहिए। एक तरफ चाइना हम पर वार कर रहा है, हमारे सैनिकों को आकर बार बार बॉर्डर पे कन्फ्रंट कर रहा है। दूसरी तरफ हमारा ट्रेड व्यापार जो बढ़ रहा है चाइना के साथ, सेकेंड लार्जेस्ट पार्टनर ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर हमारा है तो चाइना है। 29% इंक्रीज़ हुआ है पिछले 8 सालों में। गलवान के बाद उम्मीद थी कि ये ट्रेड ख़त्म होगा, पर वो ट्रेड और बढ़ा है। तो ये सवाल पूछना लाजमी है कि आप एक तरफ आत्मनिर्भर भारत की बात करते हैं, दूसरी तरफ हम बॉर्डर पे इस तरीके का विवाद देख रहे हैं और आप इसके बारे में चर्चा नहीं करने दे रहे हैं। क्या हमारे सैनिकों को और हमारी सैनिकों की तरफ जिम्मेदारी नहीं है कि वो बार बार बॉर्डर पे लड़ रहे हैं, निहत्ते कभी कभी लड़ते हैं, कभी मुश्किलों का सामना कर रहे हैं और हमारी जो सरकार है उनकी किसी तरीके की जवाबदेही नहीं दे रही।
From the beginning of the session, the Chinese aggression, which was not actually duly attended, had been the uproar from the opposition party, and everybody from the opposition party demands that it has to be dealt with iron hands. And the minimum demand that our floor leader had put to the party, legislative speaker, is that we should be allowed a discussion on it, and we were not allowed on it. So the major protest is regarding the throat of democracy being not allowed to voice their opinion. Also, Chinese aggression is not an easy thing to be dealt with diplomatic ties or talks or whatever it is. So it had to be dealt with iron hand, and the recent aggression is needed to be addressed in the G20 summit also. So our DMK party leader, respected Mr. Talapati, has instructed our party members as well as the floor leader to take up this cause and raise this issue. And this protest is to voice our united opinion that why weren't we allowed to talk or discuss regarding this in the
चाइना के मुद्दे पे सरकार फेलियर है और अपने बातों से छिपाने के लिए, अपने फेलियर को छिपाने के लिए वो सदन में चर्चा नहीं कराना चाह रहे हैं, जिसके लिए पूरा विपक्ष एकजुट होकर उनसे डिमांड कर रहा है और आज गांधी स्टैचू पे हम प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं।
वहीं स्मृति ईरानी जी का कहना है कि एलिगेशन लगाया है उन्होंने।
All right, viewers, we are being joined right now by Piyush Mishra, who's joining us live right now. Piyush, we are seeing that there's a lot of showdown, a massive showdown happening. Opposition leaders, including Sonia Gandhi, they're protesting, demanding discussions on Tawang clashes. And you are there at the spot. You're speaking to the Congress leaders. Tell us what they're saying, and has any kind of word also coming from the BJP about the fact that right now they are going ahead protesting and disrupting, the business of the House? All right, we'll go ahead to Piyush Mishra very shortly. Piyush is there at the spot right now. And viewers, what's happening as we speak right now in the national capital is that as the winter session of Parliament is scheduled, in fact, it started already from 11 a.m. onwards. That's when the winter session would have kicked off. But right now, what's happening is that multiple disruptions are happening at this point of time, viewers. Congress President and Leader of Opposition in Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, has called like-minded opposition leaders for a stir in front of the Gandhi statue, which is happening outside the Gandhi statue.
India, democracy, religious freedom. So now India's is a existing habit, democracy, and respect to all different religious traditions. That's India's sort of tradition. It's a very good. You should pay more attention about existing India's value. So now India, second most populated nation on this planet, and other countries, Indian community there. So basically, Indian people, I think they concept of secular, not particular religious or belief, secular way. These are quite wise, very good. So now younger Indian, you should keep 1,000-year-old India's secular tradition, very important. Thank you.
Thank you, His Holiness. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so we have that reaction coming in. Dalai Lama on India, China. He is making a couple of points. And he's also saying that India's tradition is to respect democracy and respect all culture as well. Dalai Lama on a previous occasion had said that he considers India his home, and he is, in fact, very, very happy staying in India. He had made those very, very important points when he was questioned on the face-off in Tawang. And right now, Dalai Lama once again speaking on India-China and speaking on the India-China clashes as well. So we are seeing this, a comment coming in from Dalai Lama on India-China as the opposition continues to protest. And they're demanding a discussion on Tawang clash, viewers, as the winter session of Parliament, which is scheduled to kick off at 11 a.m. It starts, but instead of discussing the business of the House, we are seeing that there are multiple disruptions being made right now after the Tawag provocation, the opposition protesting outside the Gandhi statue. All right, viewers, many reactions also coming in at this point of time. Let's play them out for our viewers. Remember that right now the opposition, led by the Rajya Sabha LOP, Mallikarjun Kharge, is protesting outside the Gandhi statue, demanding a discussion on the December 9th face-off between India and China troops along the LAC.
हमारी मांग है कि चीन के मामले पर संसद में चर्चा हो। जो सरकार ने चुप्पी साध ली है, सरकार ने मौन व्रत धारण कर लिया है, उससे जो है विपक्ष परेशान। वो कहता आप कुछ तो बताओ, पूरा देश चीन के इस मामले पर, सीमा सुरक्षा के मामले पर आपके साथ है, हमारे सेना के जवानों के साथ है सारा विपक्ष। तो आपको फिर जो है इस पे चर्चा कराने से क्या गुरेज है? आप इस पे चर्चा कराइए, लोगों के सुझाव लीजिए, कड़े कूटनीतिक कदम उठाइए। सोनिया गांधी ने अपनी संसदीय दल की बैठक में भी कहा है कि कड़े कूटनीतिक कदम उठाने चाहिए और आर्थिक कदम उठाने चाहिए चीन के मामले में। वहाँ पे सरकार कुछ कर नहीं रही, इसकी वजह से उसके हौसले बढ़ते जा रहे हैं।
सबसे पहले सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा तो इंडिया चाइना का इशू है। इतने सारे बॉर्डर डिस्प्यूट्स चल रहे हैं और हमारी सरकार जो है किसी तरीके की जवाबदेही जो होनी चाहिए वो तय नहीं हो पा रही है। हम बार बार कह रहे हैं इस पर चर्चा होनी चाहिए। एक तरफ चाइना हम पर वार कर रहा है, हमारे सैनिकों को आकर बार बार बॉर्डर पे कन्फ्रंट कर रहा है। दूसरी तरफ हमारा ट्रेड व्यापार जो बढ़ रहा है चाइना के साथ, सेकेंड लार्जेस्ट पार्टनर ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर हमारा है तो चाइना है। 29% इंक्रीज हुआ है पिछले 8 सालों में। गलवान के बाद उम्मीद थी कि ये ट्रेड खत्म होगा, पर वो ट्रेड और बढ़ा है। तो ये सवाल पूछना लाजमी है कि आप एक तरफ आत्मनिर्भर भारत की बात करते हैं, दूसरी तरफ हम बॉर्डर पे इस तरीके का विवाद देख रहे हैं और आप इसके बारे में चर्चा नहीं करने दे रहे हैं। क्या हमारे सैनिकों को और हमारी सैनिकों की तरफ जिम्मेदारी नहीं है कि वो बार बार बॉर्डर पे लड़ रहे हैं, निहत्ते कभी कभी लड़ते हैं, कभी मुश्किलों का सामना कर रहे हैं और हमारी जो सरकार है उनकी किसी तरीके की जवाबदेही नहीं दे रही।
From the beginning of the session, the Chinese aggression, which was not actually duly attended, had been the uproar from the opposition party, and everybody from the opposition party demands that it has to be dealt with iron hands. And the minimum demand that our floor leader had put to the party, legislative speaker, is that we should be allowed a discussion on it, and we were not allowed on it. So the major protest is regarding the throat of democracy being not allowed to voice their opinion. Also, Chinese aggression is not an easy thing to be dealt with diplomatic ties or talks or whatever it is. So it had to be dealt with iron hand. And the recent aggression is needed to be addressed in the G20 summit also. So our DMK party leader, respected Mr. Talapati, has instructed our party members as well as the floor leader to take up this cause and raise this issue. And this protest is to voice our united opinion that why weren't we allowed to talk or discuss regarding this in the House.
प्रांत के नाम पर, जाति के नाम पर आरएसएस और बीजेपी की विचारधारा एक विभाजनकारी विचारधारा हमेशा रही है और सामाजिक ध्रुवीकरण चुनाव के लिए एक रणनीति बन रही है। और तीसरी जो खतरा है, जो तीसरी बात मैं कहना चाहता हूं, वो राजनीतिक तानाशाही अभी हकीकत बन गया। संविधान का नजरअंदाज किया जा रहा है, संवैधानिक संस्थाएं कमजोर की जा रही हैं, न्यायालय और सरकार के बीच में एक तनाव पैदा किया जा रहा और सारी संस्थाओं को कब्जे में लेने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है प्रधानमंत्री और प्रधानमंत्री कार्यालय की ओर से। तो आर्थिक विषमताएं बढ़ रही हैं, सामाजिक ध्रुवीकरण को प्रोत्साहन दिया जा रहा है और राजनीतिक तानाशाही हकीकत बन गई है। और इससे भारत और हमारे लोकतंत्र को बहुत खतरा है, टूटने की संभावना बड़ी है। और इसके खिलाफ आवाज उठाने के लिए राहुल जी भारत जोड़ो यात्रा निकाले। ये मन की बात नहीं है, किसी एक व्यक्ति की मन की बात नहीं है, ये जनता की चिंता है। राहुल जी रोज न केवल चलते हैं पर अलग अलग समूह से मिलते हैं, समाज के अलग अलग वर्गों से मिलते हैं। और आज दोपहर को 2 बजे से लेकर करीब 2:40 तक पहली मुलाकात हरियाणा में राहुल जी की एक्स सर्विसमैन से होगी। तो पहले दिन जय जवान, पहले दिन जय जवान और परसों किसान संगठनों से मुलाकात करेंगे, उस दिन जय किसान होगा। और जब हम हरियाणा लौटेंगे जनवरी के महीने में तो एक और इंटरैक्शन होगा।
All right, viewers, getting some breaking coming in at this point of time. Big breaking coming in at this point of time, viewers, where we are seeing that Sonia is asking in the parliament, why is the government silent? Why is the government silent? We're talking about Sonia Gandhi's speech during the Congress Parliamentary Party meeting. And also she's saying the government is not listening to opposition and continues to stall debate on the China issue. She also adds people are not able to know the exact situation at China border. These are the comments right now coming in from Sonia Gandhi, viewers, where she clearly is saying the government is stalling. The government is stalling the proceedings, and why is the government silent? Even though our forces, our army pushed back the Chinese very effectively, they had clearly pushed them back. The Chinese tried to change the status quo, but our army stopped that. Rajnath Singh, in his address, had clearly said how China could not change the status quo, and they failed miserably. Even after that, viewers, we're getting a comment coming in from Sonia Gandhi, who goes ahead and asks, why is the government silent? Why is the government silent? Even though a short while back, after the news of the incursion had come, Rajnath Singh had spoken to all the leaders, and he made that stance clear that the Indian army pushed back the Chinese soldiers very effectively away from the border, and China had failed to change the status quo. But the big news coming in, Sonia Gandhi in parliament saying, why is the government silent? Why is the government silent? That's a comment coming from her. As opposition leaders, including Sonia Gandhi, are protesting, demanding discussion on the Tawang clash. The winter session of the parliament just began a short while back around 11 a.m. But you can see, viewers, that there are multiple disruptions happening with the Congress president and the leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, has called the opposition leaders for a stir in front of the Gandhi statue, and that's happening right over there. We also saw reactions coming in from the various opposition parties. All right, Piyush is joining us live. Piyush, you have been at the spot where the opposition is protesting. Take us through what's happening on ground. All right, okay, we'll connect back to Piyush. Getting some technical issue connecting to him. But viewers, right now we're getting this big update where Sonia is attacking the center. And it looks like Piyush is back with us. Piyush, what is happening right now? We are seeing the opposition politics is continuing, even though Rajnath Singh had made it very clear, addressing all the leaders, that our army had successfully pushed back the Chinese troops.
Well, absolutely, as we are speaking, the record continues to take place, and because of that, the Lok Sabha, as they adjourned, the opposition political parties continue to take records. In fact, the Lok Sabha, before that, they protested in front of Mahatma Gandhi statue, in front of Parliament, where 12 the opposition political parties, they protested in front of Mahatma Gandhi statue. It was led by Congress party. We also saw Sonia Gandhi taking part in that particular protest. The opposition continues to create records, and they continue to protest the entire matter. The point is that this is happening in a time when the government has already made a detailed statement on the entire issue. The government has said that our forces have pushed back the Chinese forces and stopped the incursion there. And also detailed about the incident, what actually happened on the night of December. Everything was put in detail by the government. Rajnath Singh has made a detailed statement not only in Rajya Sabha but also in Lok Sabha. But despite that, we are seeing the political parties continue to face protest. They created they also protested his right outside the parliament, also inside the Lok Sabha. The was created, and as we are speaking, the Lok Sabha has been adjourned because of the continuous disruption. Though the government is making it very clear that there is no any other extra work which needs to be added apart from the statement which has been made by the President Rajnath Singh. The official political parties have made it political because they are. Remember that Rahul Gandhi a couple of days back had also used the words like Resign for our security forces. Yesterday, Piyush Goyal and Prahlad Joshi also did a press conference. They highlighted about the fact that when it comes to national security, every political party must speak in one voice. But here we are seeing different voices coming in, and 12 opposite political parties continue to protest, demanding a further debate, discussion on this. We have to listen out for all of this. This will continue, but today we can expect the entire day records to be created and disruptions to be created by the political parties. They will continue to demand a further debate, discussion on this.
Right. Right, Piyush. All right. Okay, Piyush, keep getting us those updates as opposition protests at the Gandhi statue. And we are also coming to know that Lok Sabha proceedings, viewers, Lok Sabha proceedings have been adjourned till 12 noon. An opposition protest over various issues. So as the opposition is protesting over there has been caused multiple disruptions. And that is why right now the proceedings have been adjourned. On that note, let's see what else is making news from across India. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia will review the pandemic situation today in a key COVID-19 review meet. Earlier, Mandavia had highlighted that India, with its focus on the five-fold strategy of test, track, treat, vaccination and adherence to COVID-appropriate behavior, has been able to restrict the transmission of the coronavirus. Despite the government making its stand clear on Tawang, opposition politics continues to rage on. And in the latest, Congress president and LOP in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, and opposition leaders staged a protest in front of the Gandhi statue at the parliament today. Gangster turned terrorist Harry Chatta, who is set to replace Rinda, has reached Pakistan using fake passport. Reports suggest that fake passports were made in Punjab with different identities used by these gangsters to travel to different countries. State Special Operations Cell has registered FIR against 8 gangsters who had left the country using fake passports. The shocking incident, a local TDP leader was allegedly murdered by YSRCP leader and his aides in Andhra Pradesh. The police have registered a case and a probe is underway in the case. Months after BJP state president Bandi Sanjay challenged KTR to undergo a drug test, the Telangana minister has now accepted the challenge, but with the condition that Sanjay would hit himself with the footwear if the test comes out clean. Remember, earlier, Sanjay had accused KCR's son, KT Ramarao, of drug consumption. Traffic on the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway was disrupted after a landslide was reported on the national highway. This happened near Udhampur. Efforts are now underway to resume traffic movement at the earliest. Former Punjab CM Charanjit Channi has now summoned by the Chief Judicial Magistrate Court in Mansa and has been asked to appear on January 12th in connection to violation of order of public servant during polls over his campaign in Mansa. The ongoing tussle between Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan and Governor Arif Muhammad Khan has come to the light once again after the latter was dropped from the list of invitees, in fact, of the Christmas party hosted by the Chief Minister. In the latest cracking down on women's rights and freedoms, the Taliban, after the Afghan government banned women from private and public universities in Afghanistan, despite initially promising a more moderate rule. And women's and minority rights, the Taliban have widely implemented their harsh interpretation of the Islamic law. after an opinion poll on Twitter asking the users if he would step down as the CEO. Elon Musk tweeted that he will resign as a CEO as soon as he finds someone what he called foolish enough to take the job. And after that, he stated that he would just run the software and servers teams. Viewers, much more coming up on the other side. We continue to be live and breaking. Mandavia writes to Rahul Gandhi and Elon says follow COVID norms or stop the yatra. Plus, NIA reports make sensational disclosure, says PFI members linked to ISIS and the Al-Qaeda. Stay tuned.
Powered by Truecaller, बुरी नियत वालों का कॉल लाल।
जैन 2022 से अब तक रोहन 6 बार डंप हुआ है, बट रोहन वो तो लहरा रहा है क्योंकि जियो मार्ट के ग्रैंड फिनाले सेल में शॉपिंग पर मिलेगा अप टू 80% ऑफ। तो साल जैसा भी गया हो, एंडिंग तो जबरदस्त होगी।
Everyone looks at the world today. At Hyundai, we go beyond with experiences that take us forward. Inspired by our today, we design your tomorrow. Some said electric is the future. We said, why stop there? At Hyundai, we are going beyond mobility, and you are welcome to join us.
Reimagineering brighter futures with smarter steels. ArcelorMittal, Nippon Steel India. Smarter steels, brighter futures.
ये है गेहूं। जब इसमें जुड़ता है रागी, जवार, बाजरा और मेथी तो बनता है हेल्दी मन्ना मल्टी मिलेट आटा। ये है बेहतर आटा।
उठो, जागो, दौड़ो तुम। डायबिटीज को रोको तुम।
Get Beto's Diabetes Care Program with a free glucometer and expert advice. Give a missed call on 740 1100.
Chinese troops pushed back. The government sets the record straight, but opposition politics continues. The Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia writes to Rahul Gandhi and Ashok Gehlot, says follow COVID norms or stop the yatra. It's a brazen violation of COVID norms at Rahul Gandhi's yatra. The BJP now calls it COVID Jodo Yatra. The Union Health Minister is to review the COVID-19 situation as cases witness a sharp surge in multiple countries. NIA report makes sensational disclosure, says PFI members linked to the ISIS and the Al-Qaeda. Another regressive move by the Taliban bans women from universities and higher education. And And straight off to news that's just coming in, we are learning that the Union Home Minister Mansukh Mandavia has reached the Health Ministry for a COVID review meeting. Do remember that the Union Health Ministry, not wanting to take any chances after the surge in cases reported across various countries around the world, has called for this review meeting. Now, amongst the key decisions that have so far been taken is the fact that the Health Ministry has issued guidelines to all states to increase genome testing as COVID cases continue to show a sharp surge, at least in certain countries. Reports coming in of a sharp surge in cases in China, in the US, in Korea, in Canada. So thereafter, we're given to understand that the government wants to make sure that it does put in place all precautionary measures. We are still awaiting, of course, for the government to come out and announce any new measures. Whether that will happen at all, we don't know yet. But there is also a call that's being made from various quarters in terms of flights that are emanating out of China. Whether the government will essentially look at those, we don't know. But obviously, there are calls being made that perhaps there should be a restriction on flights that are coming in from China. Do remember that China has seen unparalleled number of COVID cases that have been reported, particularly at least from Beijing, where reports are suggesting that hospitals are overwhelmed, and also the fact that several crematoriums are continuously dealing with those people who may have died from COVID-19. China, of course, has reported, rather underreported these deaths, so with China saying that only people who die out of breathing difficulties and are COVID positive will be considered as people who have died from COVID. They are not looking at any comorbidities. Now, even as the surge happens, the Union Health Minister, of course, has arrived for a COVID meeting at the Health Ministry. Let's go across to Harsha, who's reporting on this. Harsha, we are given to understand that one of the things that the Health Ministry is going to be looking at is perhaps an advisory in terms of flights that are coming in from China, at least, and also an advisory perhaps that might now be put in place for domestic and international airports.
Exactly, Nupun. What we are learning now that there are certain pointers which will be discussed in this today's review meeting by Health Ministry. We'll show you the visuals because Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia has already reached here, and all the top health experts of the country, from Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan to the experts from
Harsha, that's a very poor connection we have with you. We're going to fix that and come back to you in just a bit. But as Harsha is pointing out, of course, there are a number of measures that are likely to be taken by the Health Ministry. One of the things that we've been learning about, of course, is the fact that the Health Ministry could be looking at new variants. Now, do remember that what we're seeing in China is an Omicron surge, and it was very similar to what we saw last year at, in between December and January, when we also saw an Omicron surge back home in India. Let me go across back to Harsha now on this one. Harsha, I think your audio is fixed now. Take us through what we're expecting to come out of this meeting. We are now learning, of course, that Mansukh Mandavia also could be issuing an advisory to states.
Exactly, what we're learning right now, as you can see in visuals, that all the experts have come to the ministry for the review meeting, and right now the meeting has already started because MOS Bharti Pawar, Mansukh Mandavia, and all the top health experts of the country, from AIMS director to INSACOG head epidemiologist and the NCT director, has already reached here. So this meeting becomes very important because the neighboring countries are seeing COVID surge, be it China, Japan, Korea and US. And there are several flights also we have seen post-COVID, how many flights have been coming from these countries as well. So in the review meeting, it will be clearly decided that how the testing and tracking and surveillance should be initiated now at the airport. The tourists who are coming from abroad in our country, proper guidelines should be issued for them. And not only this, the Indians who are coming from abroad, the guidelines and the testing tracking should be initiated at T3 terminals for those passengers as well. And as the country is getting for the festival season, the New Year and Christmas celebration are ahead. So proper guidelines will be issued ahead of the festival. Also, the restrictions will be enforced on the large crowd gathering at several places. So these are the main pointers of the meeting which is going to be discussed. And one more thing, that if it could be a new variant, then the expert suggestions will be taken on genome sequencing as well. That the genome
genome sequencing should be increased in the states where the cases of COVID are continuously rising. And when the genome sequencing will be done, it could be more learned whether it is a new variant or not a new variant. So today's meeting is among the health officials and health secretaries of the country, the major health experts who have been dealing with COVID-1 and COVID-2 in our country, and this is an alarming situation. Therefore a letter was also written to Rahul Gandhi and Ashok Gehlot to postpone their Bharat Jodo Yatra because it is a public health emergency situation, and so that the situation shouldn't be more worse. Therefore, proper preparedness is being enhanced by Health Ministry right now. Therefore, this health meeting has started at 11:30 a.m. where the MOS and the minister himself is present, and the review meeting has started with the health officials. Back to you.
Right, absolutely. As Harsha is pointing out, of course, the health minister is holding a review meeting amid a global spike in cases that are being reported from various countries. Now, earlier Tuesday, of course, the health ministry had urged all states and union territories to ramp up the genome sequencing of positive samples to keep a track of the newer variants. Now, let me go back to Harsha on this one. Now, one of the things that people are worried about is with the sharp uptake in cases in China, there could be new variants that could be at play, and that is something that's worrying Indian authorities as well, Harsha?
Exactly, no, but that's the case because we have seen at the time of COVID-1 and COVID-2 as well. We saw there was a 4 months before only China saw a surge in COVID-1. At that time also, it was a sudden that India took the preparedness step at the time of COVID-1 in March 2020. But if there's a new variant, and because the cases are rising in China, we are seeing visuals from the hospitals, from the seats of China, Japan and South Korea. The situation doesn't seem to be very good over there. And till now, from those countries as well, we have not got to know that it is a new variant or it is not a new variant. But to be more sure of it, therefore genome sequencing is being enhanced. At the time of B2 variant also, we saw there were several tourists who were coming from these countries. A new variant was seen, a Delta variant was seen at that time. So if it could be a new variant, then the genome sequencing and the positivity of those patients need to be checked who are coming from the countries like China, US, Korea and Japan. And the flight operations from these countries has to be lessened because right now we are seeing, because of the festival season, the flight rates from these countries are too high. So proper initiated guidelines should be issued for these countries, and it is a seriously matter of concern because now a public health advisory would be issued from the health ministry for civil aviation ministry as well, what we're expecting after this meeting, because right now the surge in neighboring countries is too much and the situation should not worsen in our country. Therefore, proper guidelines and protocols will be given to other states as well to follow all those protocols. The testing and tracking, the 3 T's which we follow, testing, tracking and tracing should be increased in all the states, and the advisory could be issued after this meeting, what we are expecting right now.
Now, just very quickly, Harsha, could you confirm for us that the meeting has begun? It was supposed to begin at about 11:30, and also tell us more in terms of who all are attending this particular meeting.
Yes, Nupur, the meeting has already started. We saw Mansukh Mandavia reaching the health ministry at around 11:20 a.m. And before Mansukh Mandavia, the union health minister, before he reached here, we saw the director of AIMS, we saw the heads of the INSA, the experts who are in the NCD, and the other health experts and the directors of the health ministry, the other officials as well. All were already present here. Ms. Bharti Pawar has just reached for the meeting. The meeting as scheduled for 11:30 has already started. So we are expecting this meeting to go for almost 1.5 hours or more than 1 or 2 hours because the experts will be taking suggestions. The experts from INSA who are actually specialized in genome sequencing, because the proper guidelines will be given to them regarding genome sequencing as well, because this is a lab of experts who actually deal in genome sequencing and the COVID cases have been sent from the different states to this lab as well. So suggestions from INSA experts will be taken. AIMS director would also be asked about the preparedness, what the government hospitals could do if the beds have to be increased, the proper preparedness when it comes to oxygen cylinder, oxygen concentrators, increasing the number of beds. What these steps are to be taken will be discussed in this entire meeting. So we are seeing that this meeting becomes very important ahead of a surge this is being seen in the neighboring countries, and a slight increase is also being seen in some of the parts of the country from Karnataka, Kerala, Telangana, Rajasthan, Maharashtra. These are the states where the rising number of COVID cases have been seen in the span of 15 to 20 days. So, back to you.
All right, Harsha, of course, is continuing to bring us the latest in terms of what's happening as far as the centre's meeting on the COVID crisis is concerned. Do remember there has been a huge upsurge in cases in China, and the government wants to make sure that it does have all measures in place. Thank you, Harsha. Now, after K. Kavita's name was once again mentioned in the charge sheet of in the Delhi liquor scam, the BRS MLC K. Kavita has taken to Twitter and said that even if her name is mentioned 28 times or 28,000 times, a lie does not become true. So that's her tweet. Do remember that K. Kavita's name has been mentioned in the charge sheet in the Delhi liquor scam case. Let's go across to Aneri in Hyderabad. She has more details in this. Now, Aneri, K. Kavita, of course, has from the very beginning been saying that this, she believes, is political vendetta. Once again, reiterating that, saying that even if a name is mentioned in the charge sheet, it does not make a lie true. Aneri, are you there with us?
Well, that's right, Nupur. We have been seeing that after K. Kavita's name has emerged in Sameer Mahendru's charge sheet. Well, yesterday, once again, we had seen K. Kavita's name being mentioned. She is the daughter of Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao and also the BRS MNC. But now, taking to social media, K. Kavita has replied saying that it's the political vendetta of BJP as they fear that the BRS party chief and CM KCR will expose their anti-farmers and pro-capitalist policies is what K. Kavita has been saying. So now definitely a face-off between the BRS and the BJP is going on, amid which we see that K. Kavita's name has come up once again.
See that K. Kavita's name has come up once again in the Delhi liquor scam charge sheet of Sameer Mahendru, where we see that earlier also there was questioning of K. Kavita into this matter. On the 11th of December, we had seen that officials had arrived at her residence for questioning, and in the meantime, now we see that the face-off between the BJP and the BRS is going on. Now, K. Kavita has taken to social media. She has stated that let it be 28 times or 28,000 times. But if my name is also mentioned, the truth will prevail. The lie will not become truth. And so we have been seeing that this comes amid her name being involved in the Delhi liquor scam. Earlier also she was, she underwent questioning, and now we see that hitting out at the Bharatiya Janata Party, K. Kavita says that it's a political vendetta of the BJP.
Aneri, Kavita, of course, says that this is political vendetta. For the benefit of our viewers, explain to us why her name is figuring in these charge sheets. She, of course, says that she has nothing to do with it, but her name is mentioned in relationship to a certain Sameer Mahendru.